Today we're going to talk about factoring by substitution. Remember to write down all the examples. So the goal is to substitute for a quartic trinomial using quadratics in order to factor it. So here, this is the easiest method to use to factor a quartic trinomial. So once you can identify that you do not have a greatest common factor, you need to get the function to look like a quadratic. So we will use the substitution to make it look this way. So we're going to substitute what we call u in for x. So for our first step is to substitute u for x squared. So u is equal to x squared. So that means x to the fourth would become u squared minus 3u minus 4. So now we're going to factor our quadratic. Also remember to write down that what you substitute u equal to. So now we're going to factor using the AC method. So we have 1 times negative 4, which is negative 4. What multiplies to negative 4 and adds to negative 3? That is negative 4 and 1. We are finding the factors of x. So this is in terms of u, so we have to go back to the factors of x. So anywhere I see a u, I'm going to resubstitute x squared. That's our fourth step. And our fifth step is to completely factor. So this x squared minus 4 is a difference of squares, so we get x minus 2, x plus 2. X squared plus 1, we get x plus I, x minus I. We'll talk more about this in class tomorrow. So here we have to get it set equal to 0 before we can start, so we have to subtract 64, and we're going to still make u equal to x squared. So u squared minus 12u minus 64. So we're going to factor and we get what multiplies to negative 64 and adds to negative 12 is positive 6, positive 4, and negative 16. So we're going to resubstitute x squared for u, and we're going to completely factor. So when I completely factor this, I get x plus 2i, x minus 2i, and the difference of squares, I get x minus 4, x plus 4. So make sure that you have the steps down in your notes. You need to identify the polynomial, make sure there's not a greatest common factor, set u equal to a value and substitute u for that value. Factor what you can, plug back in the original value of u, and then completely factor from there. You'll usually get a difference of square. Make sure you have down all the examples, and if you have questions, write them down and ask them tomorrow in class. Have a good night.